The calico wouldn't stop sitting on the heating vent, not near it. On it, directly over the floor register in the hallway outside the nursery, her 7-pound body covering the 8 by 12-inch metal grate like a living seal. She sat there every night starting at approximately 9 p.m. and didn't move until dawn. For 2 weeks, Craig and Wendy Nakamura assumed it was warmth-seeking behavior, cats and heat vents, a combination as old as central heating. Their 5-year-old calico, Patches, had always gravitated toward warm spots, sunny windowsills, the top of the dryer, the bathroom floor after a hot shower. But this was different. Patches wasn't sleeping on the vent. She was sitting upright, alert, ears rotating like satellite dishes, eyes focused on the nursery door 3 feet away. Her body was tense, her tail was wrapped tightly around her paws, and she was positioned not over the warmest part of the vent, but over the edge where the ductwork connected, the seam where metal met floor. Their daughter Lily was 4 months old, first baby, first winter. The furnace was running 20 hours a day in the Michigan cold. Craig checked the vent twice. He pulled the register cover off and looked inside the ductwork with a flashlight. Dust, lint, nothing unusual. He replaced the cover and told Wendy the cat was being a cat. If you stay for stories about the small ones who notice what we don't, subscribe to Whiskers and Wonder. On night 15, Craig woke at 3 a.m. to a sound he couldn't identify. A hissing, not loud, more like static, or air escaping from a tire at a distance. He lay in bed and listened. The sound was coming from the hallway. He found Patches on the vent, same position. But this time, she was making a sound of her own, a low, sustained growl that vibrated through her entire body, not aggressive. Warning. Craig knelt beside her and put his ear to the vent. The hissing was louder at floor level. He could feel air movement through the gaps around the register. But the air was wrong. It was cool, and it carried a smell he couldn't place. Faint, chemical, like rotten eggs mixed with something metallic. He pulled Patches off the vent. She immediately returned. He pulled her off again, picked up Lily from the crib, woke Wendy, and opened every window in the house. The HVAC technician arrived at 7 a.m. The diagnosis took 11 minutes. The furnace heat exchanger had a stress fracture, a hairline crack that allowed combustion gases to leak into the supply air ductwork. The gases included carbon monoxide and trace nitrogen dioxide. The concentrations were low, 12 parts per million CO at the register, below alarm threshold, but the crack was widening with each thermal cycle. The technician estimated complete failure within 2 to 3 weeks. When the exchanger fails fully, you get raw combustion gas in the ductwork, the technician said. CO levels spiked from 12 to over 200 in minutes. At that concentration, in a closed house at night, you're looking at incapacitation within an hour. Has your cat ever sat on something, a vent, a pipe, a spot on the floor, and refused to move? Tell us. Cats don't sit randomly. They sit with reason. Craig asked how the cat could have detected 12 parts per million when the CO detector didn't alarm until 50. The veterinary toxicologist Wendy consulted provided the answer. Cats are hypersensitive to combustion byproducts, a documented vulnerability that makes them the first to show symptoms of CO exposure. In the 19th century, canaries served this function in coal mines. In domestic environments, cats serve it unintentionally. Your cat wasn't alerting to the gas, the toxicologist said. She was experiencing it. At 12 ppm, a 7-pound cat with a respiratory rate of 30 breaths per minute absorbs proportionally more CO per kilogram of body weight than a human adult. She was feeling the effects, mild hypoxia, headache equivalent, nausea, and positioning herself at the source to investigate what was making her feel wrong. She had been sitting on the thing that was hurting her, trying to understand it, and in doing so, she had placed herself as a living alarm between the leak in the nursery, where Lily breathed the same air through a smaller body with faster respirations and developing lungs. Every whisker that twitches at something invisible deserves attention. Subscribe to Whiskers and Wonder. The furnace was replaced within 48 hours. The new unit included a sealed combustion chamber and a dedicated CO sensor integrated into the ductwork. The kind that alarms at 5 ppm, not 50. Patches investigated the new register on the first night. She sniffed the warm air rising through the grate. She circled once. She walked to the nursery door, lay down in front of it, and slept. She never sat on the vent again. Craig kept the old register cover, the 8 by 12-inch grate with the lint and dust and the faint residue of combustion gases that a 7-pound calico had detected 15 nights before any sensor, any adult, or any alarm system designed to protect his family. Wendy asked why he kept it. Because that's what 12 parts per million looks like, he said. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Unless you weigh 7 pounds and breathe 30 times a minute. Patches continued her rounds of windowsill at dawn, dryer top at noon, bathroom floor after showers, and the nursery door at night. No longer the vent, just the door. Stand and watch over the room where the air was clean and the baby breathed and the furnace hummed with nothing leaking. Because some things are only noticed by the smallest bodies in the house.